The cheap bad, not gonna lie.
I'm not. All right, so late journalist Michael Sharpe, who passed away on April 20th at the age of 65, has been described and was a dedicated professional who used his craft to guide new talents and build his country through his passion for human causes. Mr. Sharpe, I remember the last conversation I had with him. We were at the Pegasus, and I think he was covering an event for, I think, JDIC, and we were talking about sports, because he's a Calabar old boy, and he love him sports. And I say, I'm chope him hand and him see me. He said, what, my champs now come back? I said, I don't know how things set in. I said, yeah man, champs must carry on, man. Give the kids them a chance, man. And that's just always been his thing. Give the youth them a chance. I remember when I started Weekend Smile, him said to me, you're going to hear more negative than you hear positive. When I became a track and field analyst, he said the same thing. He said, people are going to say you're not good, people are going to say all kind of things. But he was always encouraging. And every time I pass him, he just said, stay sharp, stay sharp, stay sharp, every single time. And when I was at work the day, and it was tough. It was tough because though he and I weren't close, he would always have a word of encouragement every single time to me. There was never a time where he would see me and not say anything. He wouldn't just walk past and not say anything. If I drive in, he'd come out and he'd wave him on and say, "What, me not see me?" And it's a great loss for us. It's a great loss for me. It's a great loss for the nation because he was always positive around me. He was always just encouraging and strong. And sometimes you always wonder, like why good people have to go so early, But he served this country well. He will be missed by all of us, and it's a great loss. But he has planted many seeds across this nation and across the region, and the love won't stop, It's been 4 days since his passing, but every day it's always something because then you remember and you walk through the hallways and you see this picture up and them say death have to be easy because life hard, but sometimes certain deaths it shake you, but we have to continue his legacy. We are his children. I definitely know I am just a child of his teachings and such. So while we mourn, we'll carry on his legacy. All right. Opposition spokesperson on national security Peter Bunting raised concerns about the level of participation by the Jamaica Constabulary Force (JCF) on the Crime Monitoring and Oversight Committee. Bunting charged that the JCF has not been an active participant in the fight against crime. So, not fully sure why that was raised, but he may have his reasons. And crime fighting is not just the JCF's responsibility or the JDF's or the Ministry of Security, it's all of us. It's up to all of us to play our roles in fighting the monster that is crime, but we have to do it together. Can't do it by ourselves.
Yeah, it's, I made mention some time ago that it's one of the most longest lasting pandemics that we've ever seen, crime in our country, and you tend to want to blame and point fingers to say who's not doing a great job and who's not doing, but it's such a bigger problem than any one man can actually fix. Yeah. And if we really want to fix it, we have to fix it for the next generation, you know what I mean? So it has to be a cohesive effort. It has to be a team effort more than it is divisional, so as much as we can still try to work together as a team, find the little holes and the pockets where, things are not making sense and correct those things so we can actually move past it. But it's about re-engineering the minds of our people. And it's not just in Jamaica, but it's everywhere. It's global. So
it's global. Yeah. And you raise a good point. A lot of times people point fingers, say, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, without even taking a step back to say, what am I doing? What am I not doing? The only way, because you think about team sports, and the only way team sports work is if everybody played their part. You can't look at your teammate and relate him and say, oh, you never run fast enough, that's why we lose. Okay? Maybe you ran out too slow, kind of thing. Maybe you didn't, exchange the baton properly. It's a team effort, man, and we just need all hands on deck. If we care about the next generation, all hands on deck.
We do.
All,
we do.
All. Yeah.
So guys, the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, has informed the public that the country is boosting its capacity to test for variant strains of the coronavirus COVID-19 locally. So that's good, because any growth that we have, any ability we have to identify newer strains is super important. I think the big concern remains, will the vaccines that we have available fight these new strains, these new variants of COVID-19, and will I, if I have already taken a shot of any one of these vaccines, do I need a new vaccine when it come back out? So
yeah, what I'd love to know is what's different about the testing. Like, what exactly is different with the testing? Is it being used through different chemicals to see?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but
I can only imagine the process that they have to go through, because now, they have one in a part in Africa.
There's one in Brazil.
Brazil. And as the world opens up, because persons who have been vaccinated are now feeling more, safe, I guess, if you will, to travel. Even yesterday I was reading something about a whole concert happening in Britain. They're testing how events will happen going forward. And they're having a space of over 4,000 people who will not be masked, who will be together in that space, reveling as normal, they say, as possible. But you have to go in with a COVID-19 negative test before. And when you exit the building, you have to take one as well. And you have to give contact details, etc. So they know if there is an outbreak, this person would have been the person carrying the, so it's a whole heap of, I'm sure it is.
That's a lot.
It is. I don't know if I had to go. Like, I love events, but I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I'm never going to go.
Me not going.
I'm not going to feel so safe.
Yeah. I wouldn't feel safe at all. In a crowd, at least. Well, in some positive news, veteran high school coach, track and field coach Michael Clark, and renowned physician Dr. Paul Wright highlighted the threat of injury to athletes as a major concern heading into the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletic Championships next month. And yeah, so the good news is that Champs is back on.
The not so good news.
The not, and I agree with them, because I have the same concern. Because how sports is set up, you can't rush things. You can't rush.
Warm up.
Yeah, you can't rush these, and pretty much. So there hasn't been a warm up for the kids going into Champs. I know they've had development meets, but the start, stop.
That's inconsistency.
It throws off the cycle that they're on, their workout cycle. And I'm on the side of Doctor and Coach Clark, because you don't know what these athletes have been doing. And you know how kids are, youthful exuberance. When them get to the stadium and them know it's championship time, them will just go and compete and compete hard. I went to the Central Championship earlier this week, and the athletes were running well but they don't look sharp. But you know how athletes are, how kids are, them just want to do the best for them school.
Yeah.
And I hope the coaches, and I hope the public as well, don't pressure these kids. Please do not pressure these young athletes, because remember, they're students first, athletes second. Do not pressure them. If they don't run any amazing times, it is okay.
Yeah, it has been a year.
Yeah, it's been a whole year.
Yeah.
And some started training last November, and then track meet started, and then they stop, and they start, and they stop. Do not pressure yourselves. If you go out there and compete and you feel like you want to stop, you stop. Because there's life after sports.
Exactly.
Right?
I just want to say to Michael Sharpe's family before we wrap up, and condolences to his family. So for a lot of us, we shared space for about 4 years inside that Jade and RETV office. We were there late nights, early morning. It has been a real blow to a lot of us. And we were very hopeful that if anybody else could have, gotten over this, it would be Sharpe. But more so his family, I know that it must be a very hard time for them. And I mean, on behalf of all of us who have worked very closely with Michael over the years, we want to extend our sincerest condolences and prayers of comfort to you at this time. And we share your pain. Yeah, that's it for trending topics.
Yeah. Sharpe.